Hello and a very good evening. You're watching the news at 6 with me, Frank Pereira, on Rajya Sabha television. Here are the headlines this evening. Both houses of parliament adjourned for the day after repeated protests. Opposition continues demand for Prime Minister's presence in both houses during discussion on demonetization. Government moves amendment to change income tax law in the Lok Sabha. Undisclosed income holders will be required to pay 30% tax, penalty of 10% and surcharge of 33%. Opposition holds protests across the country against demonetization. While some areas witness demonstrations and rallies, others face complete shutdown. And Union Home Minister Rajnath to lead a delegation to attend Fidel Castro's funeral in Havana tomorrow. Ashes of the 90-year-old leader to be buried in Santiago de Cuba on December 4th. Well, the opposition protest over demonetization remained unabated in the upper house even on Monday. Opposition parties reiterated their demand for the Prime Minister's presence in the House and accused the government of causing hardships to the people. The government was quick to blame the opposition for the disruption. No government business could be transacted as the standoff between the government and the opposition stalled proceedings.
The demonetization issue continued to trigger protests, putting the opposition and the government at loggerheads in the upper house of parliament. The opposition continued to insist on the Prime Minister's presence in the House and voice concern over the miseries and deaths allegedly caused by the decision.
हमारी मांग पहले दिन से है कि चर्चा दोनों सदनों में होनी चाहिए, लेकिन जिस नेता ने, जिस लीडर ने अनाउंसमेंट की है वो मौजूद होना चाहिए, क्योंकि आम तौर पर ये बताया जाता है कि कैबिनेट को मालूम नहीं था, वित्त मंत्री को मालूम नहीं था, किसी को मालूम नहीं था। जब किसी को भी नहीं मालूम था तो जिसको मालूम नहीं था तो वो कैसे सवाल जवाब दे सकता है?
Prime Minister should come and answer. Why is the Prime Minister not answering? Why is the Prime Minister not coming?
Leading the government's charge, MOS for Parliamentary Affairs Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi slammed the opposition parties for derailing the business of the House. Reiterating that the Prime Minister's fight against corruption and black money was far from over, Naqvi stressed that Prime Minister Modi will make an intervention during the debate on demonetization.
चर्चा शुरू करा दीजिए अभी और तत्काल अभी शुरू करें अभी ये नोटबंदी पर जो है वो विरोध नहीं है ये काले धन की नाकेबंदी का विरोध है और ये लोग माफी किस बात के लिए मांग रहे हैं प्रधानमंत्री इसलिए माफी मांगे कि काले धन के कुबेर कंगाल हो गए इसलिए माफी मांगे कि जो भ्रष्टाचारी है वो बेनकाब हो गए इसलिए माफी मांगे देश के कमजोर तबकों के सशक्तिकरण के लिए
The BSP, TMC and Congress members trooped into the well of the House, demanding the Prime Minister's response. BJP members also moved to the aisles and resorted to sloganeering against the opposition, as the chair tried to broker truce.
My dear honorable lady member, please, Suniye. Yes, you are saying that there is anger for the people. The best way to express anger is to resume the discussion. Best way to resume the discussion.
Kurin's assertion failed to pacify the agitated members. The stalemate washed away zero hour and question hour. As the war of words escalated, the chair adjourned the House till 2 p.m.
House is adjourned till 2 p.m. because the House is not being allowed to run.
बैंक से निकालने के लिए
Even the post-lunch session brought no respite. As the opposition and treasury benches part, the chair adjourned the House till Tuesday. With inputs from Vishal Dhaya and Panchanan Mishra, Kriti Mishra, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, a united opposition continued their protests in the Lok Sabha too, forcing adjournment of proceedings for the day. The government once again pressed for a debate, but the opposition parties remained firm on their stand, demanding a discussion under an adjournment motion.
Lok Sabha proceedings made little progress amid continued protests by the opposition on the demonetization issue. Over 30 members from the Congress, Trinamool Congress, AIADMK and the left parties trooped into the well demanding a debate under an adjournment motion. Seeking to break the deadlock, Home Minister Rajnath told the House that the government is ready for a debate. He also assured that the Prime Minister will speak on the issue.
यदि प्रतिपक्ष चाहता है कि प्रधानमंत्री भी आएं, तो प्रधानमंत्री जी आएंगे और जहां आवश्यक हुआ पूरे बहस में प्रधानमंत्री जी भी इंटरवेंशन करेंगे। यह मैं प्रतिपक्ष को यकीन दिलाना चाहता हूं।
Many opposition leaders, including Mallikarjun Kharge, Sudeep Bandyopadhyay and Mulayam Singh Yadav, pressed for acceptance of their demand for a discussion under Rule 56 that entails voting. The Speaker, however, declined their request.
इस डेडलॉक को खत्म करने के लिए एक ही उपाय है, वो प्राइम मिनिस्टर सदन में आए, एडजर्नमेंट मोशन को स्वीकार करे और हमको बात कहने के लिए आप सम्मति दें।
They try to find out a way that how we can come to a solution, that the discussion takes place, we can put our observation on the floor, let Prime Minister reply and a healthy debate takes place.
अगर ये कहें प्रधानमंत्री आकर के इतने महत्वपूर्ण सवाल पर भी नहीं आएंगे तो सदन का क्या महत्व उनके मन में है? पूरा देश चिंतित है, पूरे देश में ये हालत है कि खेत बोए नहीं जा रहे, ये बता रहे हमारी गृह मंत्री।
It is really the duty of the government to run the house better. The chair also can advise the government to have the discussion. We are not against the discussion, but you see that there were a number of instances in this house itself when such a serious issues are coming, the government come forward.
लोग दिक्कतें झेल रहे हैं। Every day people are suffering, and for this there is a need to find a way out. There is a need for the government also to take suggestions from the opposition.
Speaker Sumitra Mahajan tried to conduct the question hour, but as the din continued, she adjourned the House till noon and later till 2 p.m. Lok Sabha has been witnessing disruptions over the demonetization issue ever since the winter session started on November 16th. With Ravindra Singh and Pranav Goswami, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley today tabled the Income Tax Act Amendment Bill in the Lok Sabha to penalize bank deposits made after November 8th. According to the bill, a declarant has to pay 30% tax on undisclosed income plus a 10% penalty. Additionally, a 33% surcharge will be levied on the tax amount. Further, the declarants have to deposit 25% of the undisclosed income in a scheme to be notified by the government in consultation with the RBI. Money from the scheme will be used for projects in irrigation, housing, toilets, infrastructure, primary education, primary health and livelihood, so that there is justice and equality. Those who continue to hold on to undisclosed cash, existing provisions of the income tax law will be amended to provide for a flat 60% tax plus a surcharge of 25% of tax, which will amount to a levy of 75%. Assessing officers can also charge a 10% penalty in addition to the 75% tax.
Madam Speaker, I rise to move for leave of the House to introduce the Taxation Laws Second Amendment Bill 2016 listed in today's supplementary list of business.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor may say aye, those against may say no. I think the ayes have it, the leave is the minister may
Madam, I introduce the bill.
Well, the Delhi police arrested Khalistan Liberation Force Chief Harminder Singh Mintu after a massive manhunt. On Sunday, Mintu and 5 other prisoners had managed to escape from the high-security Naba jail in Patiala. He was the alleged mastermind of the escape and arrested from Shamli district in Uttar Pradesh. Here's a report.
It was a dramatic jailbreak from Nabha prison in Punjab on Sunday morning, as a group of armed men disguised as policemen attacked the prison and fled with banned Khalistan Liberation Force leader Harminder Singh Minto and 5 other inmates. The police, however, made a major breakthrough in the evening by arresting the alleged mastermind, Parminder Singh, from Shamli district of Uttar Pradesh. Huge cache of arms were recovered from his SUV, which was also used in the attack. Police say he was caught while trying to flee to Nepal.
हमने जितने भी नेपाल जाने वाले रूट थे, यूपी से एंट्री से लेकर नेपाल तक के बॉर्डर तक हमने सब जगह अलर्ट जारी किया था। उसी अलर्ट के तहत आज गाड़ियां चेक की गई थी, जिसमें ये गाड़ी चेक हुई और उसमें जो अक्यूज था परविंदर, वो गिरफ्तार हुआ है और इसके पास से भारी तादाद में असले और एमुनिशन बरामद हुआ है और उसने अपनी घटना का इकबाल भी किया है।
After a massive manhunt was launched, KLF Chief Mintu was nabbed by the Delhi police today morning. Following the attack, the officer in charge of the state's jails has been suspended and 2 top officials of the Nabha Central Prison have been sacked. A special task force has also been formed to probe the matter. Punjab Deputy Chief Minister Sukhbir Singh Badal indicated that Pakistan could be behind the sensational jailbreak, saying the neighbouring country was desperate to revive terrorism after Indian Army conducted the surgical strikes across the LOC.
ਜਿਹੜਾ ਜੇਲ ਸੁਪਰਡੈਂਟ ਹੈ ਡਾਇਰੈਕਟਰ ਜਨਰਲ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਜੇਲਸ ਹੈ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਸਪੈਂਡ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈ। ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਜੇਲ ਸੁਪਰਡੈਂਟ ਹੈ ਡਿਪਟੀ ਸੁਪਰਡੈਂਟ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਡਿਸਮਿਸ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈ। ਅਸੀਂ ADGP ਦੇ ਥੱਲੇ ਟੀਮ ਇਨਵੈਸਟੀਗੇਸ਼ਨ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਾ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ। ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਨਵੈਸਟੀਗੇਸ਼ਨ ਸਾਨੂੰ 3 ਦਿਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਦੱਸਣਗੇ ਲੈਪਸਸ ਕਿਹਨੇ ਕੀਤੇ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਕਨਸਪੀਰੇਸੀ ਥਿਊਰੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਨਿਕਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਿਨ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਣਗੇ। ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਟਾਸਕ ਫੋਰਸ under the intelligence has been set up to track down these criminals.
आज एक आतंकवादी दिल्ली से पकड़ा गया है हैप्पी, वो भी दिल्ली से पकड़ा गया है, एक यूपी से पकड़ा गया है। तो ये बहुत ही खतरनाक खेल है आतंकवादियों का जिनके पीछे ISI की साजिश नजर आती है।
The Home Ministry has sought a report of the incident and has assured assistance to the state government.
जानकारी प्राप्त हुई है उसके संबंध में और मैंने गृह सचिव को कहा है कि तत्काल जो है पंजाब सरकार से एक रिपोर्ट तुरंत प्राप्त कर लें और पंजाब सरकार को और भी इस प्रकार की सहयोग की आवश्यकता हो वो हम सहयोग करने के लिए भी तैयार रहेंगे।
The opposition, however, tried to corner the government, with Punjab Congress Chief Amrinder Singh accusing the ruling government of complicity, saying it triggered fears of revival of terrorism in the state ahead of the assembly polls. The Aam Aadmi Party, meanwhile, demanded that the Deputy Chief Minister must step down. Terrorist Harminder Singh Minto has been accused in more than 10 terror-related cases, including the attack on Dera Sacha Sauda chief Gurmeet Ram Rahim. He was arrested from Delhi's IGI airport in November 2014. His escape is likely to revive the talks of revival of the Khalistan movement, which was prominent in the 1980s when separatists fought against the government demanding a separate state. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, moving on now, 11 terrorists were arrested by the Punjab police in Ludhiana on Sunday. A huge amount of arms and ammunition were also seized from them. An operation was launched to nab the terrorists after the police received a tip-off that they were seen in Galib Kalan village. The gang, led by Gurpreet Singh alias Lembar, was allegedly planning a big strike in the area. Several country-made rifles, a foreign-made pistol and cartridges were recovered from them. They were wanted by the police in several cases, including murder. A manhunt is underway for one of the gang members who managed to escape. Meanwhile, the police are interrogating the arrested men for leads in various cases.
लुधियाना पुलिस ने बहुत ही मुस्तैदी और प्रभावशाली ढंग के 11 मेंबरी गैंग ਦੀ गिरफ्तारी की हुई है। इन्हों को 12 असले की रिकवरी हुई है और ये गैंग इलाके के विच शांति ते कानून व्यवस्था को खराब करने की लगातार इन्होंने वालों उपराला किया जा रहा है। तो सूचना के आधार पर ये सारी कार्रवाई पुलिस वालों अमल के लियाई गई है और इन्होंने कई सारे हैं जो ऑर्गेनाइज्ड क्रिमिनल गैंग है।
Here's a roundup of the other news from across the country and nationwide. The Supreme Court on Monday extended Sahara Chief Subroto Roy's interim bail plea till February 6, 2017, asking him to deposit 600 crore rupees for remaining out of jail. Now, the Apex Court further said that the Sahara Chief will have to surrender if the money wasn't deposited by February 6th. The court also asked the SEBI and amicus curiae Shekhar Nafade to respond to the fresh repayment plan submitted in court by Subroto Roy. The Supreme Court on Monday adjourned the hearing on the beef ban in Maharashtra and its export for 8 weeks. Earlier, the top court issued a notice to the BJP-led state government on a petition challenging a Bombay High Court order permitting consumption of beef brought from states that allow cow slaughter. The Supreme Court on Monday issued a notice to the centre on a plea seeking framing of guidelines for grant of security clearances to firms that are accused of economic offences from taking part in public auctions. BJP leader Subramaniam Swamy, who filed the plea, highlighted Sun TV, which is facing criminal trial in economic offences for taking part in auction process of FM radio channels. He said such firms should be restrained from taking part in auctions. An encounter broke out between security forces and militants in North Kashmir's Kupwara on Monday. The ultras, however, managed to flee. A search operation was launched in Kupwara following intelligence inputs about the presence in the area when the militants opened fire. A search operation to trace the ultras is underway. Well, it's time for a short break now, but news and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Renowned economist Amartya Sen needs no introduction. Recipient of the Nobel Prize for Economics in 1998, Sen has always shown a keen interest in the problems of the underprivileged. He has made immense contributions to the discipline of welfare economics and social choice theory, and his books have been translated into more than 30 languages. In 2010, Amartya Sen was listed among the world's 50 most influential people who matter.
Harappan sites are a treasure trove of sophisticated pottery. These creations show tremendous advances by the potter's wheel. Creations like the perforated jar, the copper axe, the chisel and knives astound even present-day archaeologists. Figurines depicting yoga poses, chess pieces display a complexity unsurpassed even by later-day civilizations, all of which make the Harappan civilization truly unique.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. Opposition parties observed Jan Akrosh Divas today with countrywide protests against the government's demonetization move. However, with different parties leading separate marches, there was a mixed impact on the rally. States like Kerala and Tripura experienced a shutdown over the call given by the left front. Here's more.
As part of the Jan Akrosh Divas called by the opposition, Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi led a group of MPs in staging a protest against the government on the demonetization issue. MPs from the Congress, RJD, NCP, DMK and the CPIM protested in front of the Gandhi statue outside Parliament, demanding more steps by the government to ease the problems being faced by people due to the sudden currency ban.
125 crore people of this country are facing acute problem. We are expressing that. Congress is doing it its own way, but if you see the House, you keep on watching the House, everyone is raising the voice of the people that the country is facing a very, very uncomfortable, painful situation where money is there, but they are unable to take it because of the government policy.
हमारी मांग है जो आम आदमी आज पिट रहा है, भले किसान हो या कोई भी आम आदमी आज जो एटीएम की लाइन में खड़ा है, किसान को पैसे नहीं मिल रहे हैं, मजदूर को पैसे नहीं मिल रहे, उनको न्याय के लिए हम लोग यहाँ सब मिले हुए हैं.
Large-scale opposition protests were also held across India. While some cities witnessed protest marches and rallies, others had to face a complete shutdown. In Delhi, the left front led the protest on the streets, demanding an extension on the use of old currency notes.
जब तक आपके पास वैकल्पिक नोटों का व्यवस्था पूरा नहीं है, तब तक या 30 दिसंबर तक पुराने नोटों से अपनी जिंदगी जीने के लिए जो आपके कैश ट्रांजैक्शंस के उसके ऊपर पाबंदी हटाओ और लोगों को अपनी जिंदगी जीने दो.
Demonstrations were also held in Mumbai, Hyderabad, Jammu and Patna. In some cities, protesters were also detained. In West Bengal, 2 separate rallies were held, one led by the Left Front and the other spearheaded by Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. The maximum impact, however, was seen in Kerala, which witnessed a complete shutdown.
जब से मैं देख रहा हूँ ये हड़ताल की वजह से बहुत सारी पब्लिक ऐसे ही बहुत परेशान है, तो मैं तो यही चाहूँगा कि ये किस वजह से भी जो हड़ताल शुरू हुई है जल्द से जल्द खत्म होनी चाहिए.
Reason for this hartal is maybe genuine, but for the people like us, it is very difficult to maintain this day-to-day life today.
In neighbouring Tamil Nadu, the opposition DMK held protest against demonetization. Party leader M.K. Stalin was even taken into preventive custody for a brief while. In Bihar, Congress workers staged a rail roko agitation. However, the protests had little impact, with the JDU keeping away. Although overall the countrywide protests had little or no impact, the shutdown called by the Left Front affected normal life in many cities. Transport services took a major hit, causing inconvenience to the common man. Countering the opposition's campaign in many cities, BJP workers observed the Jan Abhar Divas by offering flowers and sweets to people in support of the government's demonetization move. With inputs from Kriti Mishra, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, Cuba's revolutionary leader Fidel Castro will be laid to rest on December 4th. Tributes, meanwhile, continue to pour in for the man who is considered one of the most prominent world leaders of the 20th century. World leaders will gather in Havana on Tuesday for a memorial ceremony.
Havana's historic plaza, the Revolution Square, will host giant rallies to honor Fidel Castro, the revolutionary figure who died on Friday. A large photograph of the Cuban leader now overlooks the square, where a memorial service will be held on Tuesday, expected to draw world leaders and foreign dignitaries.
我们相信，在劳尔主席的坚强领导下，古巴党、政府、人民必将继承菲德尔·卡斯特罗同志的遗志，化悲痛为力量，在社会主义建设事业中不断取得新的成绩。中古两党两国人民友谊必将持续巩固和发展。
日本はキューバとの間でハイレベルな人的交流や政府間の意見交換、民間による交流も活発に行っており、前議長の逝去後もこのような良好な関係は維持されるものと思っております。
That the legacy of Fidel Castro is felt far beyond the island of Cuba was on full display in Quito as Ecuadorians gathered outside the National Theatre for a tribute concert. Castro was an inspirational figure for much of Latin America and parts of the world that struggled against colonial rule. In Vietnam, the country's top leaders visited the Cuban embassy in Hanoi to pay homage to Castro. Hundreds of Vietnamese people also paid their respect to the iconic leader. Castro's remains were cremated and his ashes will be taken around Cuba until the state funeral on December 4th. Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh will lead the Indian delegation to attend the funeral in Havana. The delegation, which is likely to include leaders from various political parties, will leave for Havana on Tuesday. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Rajya Sabha condoled the death of Cuban revolutionary leader Fidel Castro on Monday. The House paid homage to Castro and remembered him as a leading light of the non-alignment movement.
As soon as the House met for the day, Chairman Mohammad Hamid Ansari implemented the demise of Fidel Castro. Castro was a revolutionary leader who governed the Republic of Cuba for 47 years as Prime Minister from 1959 to 1976 and then as President from 1976 to 2006. He died on November 25th at the age of 90. Chairman Ansari hailed Castro's association with India.
He visited India twice in 1973 and 1983. Commander Castro will always be remembered as a good friend of India for his lasting contribution to the evolution of warm relations between the two countries.
Castro was also remembered as a champion of the anti-imperialism and anti-colonialism movements. Chairman Ansari added that Castro's death had caused an irreversible loss to Cuba and the world at large.
His death is an irreversible loss to the people of Cuba and the Republic, and also to the world at large. The House joins the bereaved family, the government and the people of Cuba in mourning the passing away of Commander Fidel Castro and conveys its heartfelt condolences to them in their hour of grief. We deeply mourn the passing away of Commander Fidel Castro. I request members to rise in their places and observe silence as a mark of respect to the memory of the departed.
The House expressed solidarity with the people of Cuba in their hour of grief. Members also observed silence as a mark of respect to Fidel Castro. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, on to some cricket news now, where star Indian all-rounder Ravichandran Ashwin kept the hosts firmly on course for yet another comprehensive victory as he outclassed England at the end of the third day's play in the third cricket test at Mohali. England were 78 for 4 at stumps on day 3. The visitors still trail by 56 runs with 6 wickets remaining in their second innings. Joe Root survived the day with 36 not out amidst Ravichandran Ashwin's onslaught. He captured 3 wickets, while spinner Jayant Yadav picked 1 wicket. Well, here's a roundup of the other sports news in Sports Beat. India's badminton mixed doubles pair of Pranav Jerry Chopra and N. Sikki Reddy finished as runners-up at the Scottish Open Grand Prix. They lost 21-13, 18-21, 16-21 to Malaysian pair of Go Soon Hyot and Shevon Jemi Lai in the final. This was the Indian duo's third final in the last 5 tournaments, having won 2 of them. Argentina took their first Davis Cup title after Juan Martín del Potro and Federico Delbonis won Sunday's reverse singles to complete the South American nation's spectacular comeback in a 3-2 victory over host Croatia in the final. Del Potro fought back from 2 sets down to beat Marin Cilic 6-7, 2-6, 7-5, 6-4, 6-3 before Delbonis swept aside Ivo Karlovic 6-3, 6-4, 6-2 in the decisive rubber. Barcelona drew 1-1 with Real Sociedad in their La Liga encounter at the Anoeta Stadium on Sunday. After a goalless first half, Sociedad's William Jose broke the deadlock with the 53rd minute header, which was equalized by Lionel Messi's low-bottom corner shot in the 59th minute. That's it on this edition of the Bulletin. Have a good evening.